by Sprite. It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal on 2K Sports, and the NBA season is about to begin. Tonight, it'll be the Chicago Bulls up against the San Antonio Spurs at AT&T Center. You take a look at the Spurs. Finally, we get to stop talking about this team and actually get to see them in action. Feels like it's been a long offseason. One of the things that when you looked at the playoffs of 2014, Shaq, was the depth that
It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Glad you're here with us tonight for this Monday night presentation. The crowd here in anticipation of their home team Spurs in an interconference battle here at the AT&T Center in San Antonio. And the Spurs start out with the ball. Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting five on the floor. So the Bulls 5 right now. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler at the back. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. And it's Dunleavy in at the small forward position. The Spurs continue, guys, to be one of the top-tier teams in the league, both offensively and defensively.
Well, great discipline and efficiency, the continuity of the roster, the stability, and, of course, you know, what Pop calls corporate knowledge, just the unity of this roster that has grown over the years.
Here's Leonard. The Bulls getting the bucket. A rim runner. Looked for a second like he might rip the cylinder loose.
Now that is some strength there, guys.
Gasol kicks to Rose. Back to Gasol. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Passes it to Noah. That's tipped. Feeds to Rose. That three off the mark.
And for the Spurs, hey, defensively with Duncan and Splitter inside, they've got the size to protect the paint. Leonard, their wing stopper, is terrific. He can guard any position on the wing. They use their length to contest shots late and avoid cheap fouls. And the other thing you like about them is they didn't give up a lot of free throws last season.
And so here is Chicago after the basket by San Antonio. Leonard brings the double team. Back to Rose. Just 5 on the clock. Launches it. That doesn't go either for Rose.
Well, the Spurs were just terrific offensively. Best three-point shooting team in the NBA 3 of the last 4 seasons. And I think probably the best passing team as well. They really move the ball and get great movement in their offense.
Finds the bottom of the bucket from 13 feet out.
And they have to mix it up defensively. That was just too easy.
For San Antonio, they've gone 4-4 to start. So a nice offensive rhythm to start here. Ginobili outside. A stupendous finish in traffic. Ginobili's got his first bucket in this one.
I love when he takes the ball inside. That's when he seems to really get on a roll.
Outside Rose. Dishes it to Gasol. Takes the 13-footer. And the Bulls tack on 2 more.
Well, nice way there to get your first basket of the game.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Leonard attacking. Rejected by Gasol. Rose with the ball. Now Green defending. Outside Rose. He dishes it to Gasol. And the whistle blows. It'll be on Thiago Splitter. That's his first foul.
First team foul. Substitution.
Here's Rose. In the corner, it's Dunleavy. Outside Rose. Just 5 on the clock. Kicks to Dunleavy. Fires the 3. Can't get it to go. And that concludes the first quarter of play. It's San Antonio. They lead by 5. Live from the AT&T Center in San Antonio, you're watching 2K Sports. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Guys, what's your take on the Spurs so far?
And they're really keying in on getting as many good shots inside the lane as possible. They're doing a nice job of not just settling for outside looks.
Yep, I agree. I mean, they're working it inside and doing it with intention and purpose.
Diaw and Duncan at the 4 and the 5. The guards, Parker and Bellinelli. And it's Ginobili in at the 3 spot. That's the San Antonio 5. Butler dishes to Heinrich. Goes back up. Gibson passes to Heinrich. Butler up top. It's stolen by Duncan. And here comes Bellinelli leading the fast break. Hammers it home to polish off the break.
Well, they weren't going to pass up that chance to get out and run following the steal.
They better not. They've got to pad their lead any time an opportunity presents itself. And I'll tell you what, that was a golden one there.
Well, for Tim Duncan with age, the Spurs have looked to reduce his minutes load during the regular season. But when he's on the court, he remains as efficient as ever.
Out of bounds, Bulls ball. Chicago keeps possession. Mills, he's checked in for San Antonio.
8 seconds on the shot. 8. Substitution for the Spurs. Patty Mills.
So it's Chicago now. 7-point differential. Just 5 to shoot. Here's McDermott. Duncan with the block. Second quarter, and we're just over a minute in. Duncan right side. He lobs it up. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. The shot by Butler. Nobody around. And again, no good by Chicago. Shoots from the baseline. And another basket for San Antonio.
Well, head coach Greg Popovich, a big believer in what he calls corporate knowledge, the idea that continuity breeds success through players truly understanding the system at a deep level.
And the first time out of the game call for Chicago. And as much as Popovich, Clark values that continuity, the team's principles really never stand still. He adapts to his personnel and adjusts his strategies.
And that's a credit to any really good leader. And I've heard it said that leadership is everything when you're talking organizations, team sports. And that's a great point. I mean, the Spurs have won going big. They've won going small. They've won as a defensive-focused team. They've won as an offensive-focused team. I mean, they haven't changed their core principles, but to Popovich's credit, he has adjusted styles based on his personnel and where they are in their career cycle.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, guys, Tom Thibodeau had some advice for his team in that last timeout. He urged them to do everything possible to create open looks for each other. Talked about setting picks, running more set plays, anything to shake free of that defense. The other thing he stressed was the need to be disciplined on offense. He asked for good ball movement and good shot selection. I'm sure Coach is hoping those changes turn the tide in this game and shrink the deficit before halftime. Back to you, Kevin.
And thank you, Doris. McDermott with a steal. Fast break. Here we go. He feeds it to Gasol. Pass to Butler. Tries to snap the cold streak. And the layup is good. Butler's got it back down to within single digits for Chicago.
Looked like they found the soft spot in the defense there.
It's Ginobili outside. And it is good at the buzzer. Wow.
And that is simply a dagger on the way to the locker room. That three-pointer feels like a six-pointer coming when it did right at the end of the half.
And that does it for the first half of play. Spurs lead by 12. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I'm here with Coach Tom Thibodeau. And, Coach, in this kind of a matchup against this team, how important is keeping control of the ball and limiting turnovers?
It's huge. Light ball turnovers, if you put them in the open floor, they're very difficult to stop. But we got to play some defense. We're not playing any defense right now.
Tom, thank you. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback.
They got a great quarter out of Ginobili. 9 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
Yeah, and you'd expect by the end of this game, I'm sure the numbers are going to look even better.
Bulls trail by 12.
You know, one thing you have to admire, respect, and appreciate with this Bulls team is they've had some really difficult luck with the injuries to Derrick Rose, but it was a no-excuse team. They never hung their heads. They competed, and they continued to win at a high level.
Here's who Tom Thibodeau is starting the second half with. D. Rose and Jimmy Butler, the backcourt. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. And it's Dunleavy in at the small forward. And the Bulls, so resilient. A lot of credit has to go to Coach Tom Thibodeau. He gets them to play with tremendous effort every game.
Well, in the front office, too, Kevin. I mean, you think about the late first-round picks that they've turned into Taj Gibson and Jimmy Butler. Very productive two-way players that have held their own when Rose was out.
Now here's Gasol. Back to Rose. The shot by Butler. Nobody around. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
Most any NBA player can make you pay when you leave them that wide open. That's why you have to stay alert on defense. Kawhi Leonard is of this San Antonio Spurs team. 23 years old is all he is. Already a great defender and a much improved shooter from his days at San Diego State.
This is his second trip to the free throw line.
And he was up over the 80% mark from the free throw line last year. I'm sure he was pretty happy with those numbers.
Yeah, that's a great asset to have, guys, for any team. Coming down the stretch in close games, you've got a guy who's confident and very good at the line. When he steps up there, you feel good about it.
And for Kawhi Leonard, we know about his defense, but you think, Steve, he can become a go-to offensive player?
Well, he's going to need to, Kevin, when Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan move on. This is going to be Kawhi Leonard's team, and I thought what was interesting was the Spurs gave him more of a burden last year offensively. They started to give him more and more looks isolation-wise down on the block, and he's developed at a beautiful rate. He's coming into his own. Man, he shows us he knows how to finish with a flourish.
Bulls trail by 10. Chicago calls timeout. Taj Gibson's checked in for Chicago. Tony Snell comes in for Butler. And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tom Thibodeau was giving to his team. Derrick Rose was the focus of the discussion. He wants their offense to run through him. Their offense is most effective, Coach said, when he is most involved. And they're looking for total involvement from him for the rest of this game. He also wants his players putting pressure on the defense with early offense, lots of shots, and an aggressive approach in general whenever they've got the ball. Well, they need to make something happen before the start of the fourth quarter, and maybe those changes will do the trick, Kevin.
And look out!
Wow. And this sort of awesome dunk is one of the reasons this team is in charge of this game right now.
Clark, there is a swagger out here on the court that they possess and are not afraid to show it either.
That's right.
Those are phenomenal dunks to watch. So much fun.
They're on track here in the second half after their less than impressive first half. I mean, I think they came out with some tired legs to start, but they've turned it around. They found some energy, and they look a lot more active and engaged.
Second half of play with just under 2.5 minutes gone. Near the three-point line, it's Dunleavy, and it's Chicago scoring again. So it's San Antonio now. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. From deep, Green. Parker kicks to Splitter. Right side, Leonard. Here's Parker. Another one falls for San Antonio.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
They set the pick. To the right side. Here's Snell. Offensive rebound. From half court. No good. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. It's the Spurs up 8. And time to step aside quickly, but we'll be back in no time with the start of the fourth quarter.
Keep it simple every time I flow. If you step to me, I shall don't close. Raise up, black guys, break down
And let's quickly have a look at the State Farm assist of the game, which came, Steve, from kind of an unlikely source here.
Yeah, it's the big fella here doing his best impression of a point guard, serving up a brilliant feed here. That's gorgeous.
Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. Ginobili out there with Kawhi Leonard. And it's Duncan in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the San Antonio 5. And Leonard gets it to go.
That sort of epitomized this game, guys. One team going all out, getting rebounds and putbacks, and the other team just dragging.
Gasol, a screen on Parker. Heinrich, it's good. This time the assist from Rose. Rose has got 4 assists in the game. To the inside, here's Leonard, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
It makes it so easy for your teammate when you can lead him with a pass like that one.
Rose against Parker. Rose dishes to Gasol. Can't connect from 14 feet out.
Surprisingly, he hasn't really been a big part of their offense. I don't think he ever got into a rhythm.
Leonard attacking. That's good. And now it's a 12-point Spurs lead.
Boy, has he picked it up in the second half. He's on fire.
McDermott's checked in for Kurt Heinrich. 1:58 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Rose passes to Gasol. McDermott kicks to Butler. Pass to Mirotic. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Here's Gasol. Hits the difficult fadeaway jumper.
Well, he had that height separation there on the mid-range jump shot. Really good job of taking advantage of that.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich coaching his team during that last break. It was clear what message he was trying to get across. He said, this lead isn't big enough that we're safe. Not by a long shot. I don't want us sitting back and milking the clock. Play to win. Show some aggression. Guys.
There's the dish to Butler. Parker with the steal. Outside Leonard. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Leonard's got 18 points just in the second half. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for San Antonio.
Their high-energy defensive effort has paid off for them, guys, with more than a few steals over the course of the ballgame.
And they're also really getting out in transition and scoring some hoops in the fast break tonight. And so only one team answered the bell tonight. Not a monster blowout by any means, but still a double-digit victory for the Spurs.
You know, Clark, their big advantage was points in the paint.
Well, they pounded that ball inside, Kevin, and operated down low. It worked for them consistently.
McDermott, no one around him, and it's Chicago scoring again.
Well, their offense has kicked into gear, but seems to have arrived a little bit too late.
And as a coach, that can really be frustrating. I mean, your guys were stumbling along for most of the game, and now, when it's basically over, they finally decide to come alive.
Well, this is going to seal the deal. They've really exploded here to the finish line.
You know, once they sniffed out that blood in the water, the killer instinct came right out.
Rose kicks to Gasol. The rebound by the Spurs.
And you got to like the defense inside, really protecting the rim.
Challenging shots and making his presence felt around the rim, that's exactly what he can give you.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Leonard dishes to Ginobili. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession.
That was an awfully risky pass, guys. Lucky it didn't wind up as a steal.
Well, it nearly did wind up as a steal, but no harm done in the end. They hang on to possession.
6 on the shot clock. There's the 3. Rebound by Heinrich. He kicks it to Mirotic. Here's McDermott. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Easy call there.
No question about that one. You can hear the impact from where I am.
The free throw drops for McDermott. So both teams changing it up here. He's perfect from the line this time. Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. They're in front by 12. 1 second left to play in the final quarter. Here's Leonard, and that one drops.
Just a little bit more for these fans to cheer about as they get ready to celebrate the win.
Well, they can already start to celebrate, Steve, and they should let their team hear it. They were good.
And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Kawhi Leonard.